Hi, I'm Cheyenne Carroll, your host of TV2 Profiles. Join us today as we talk with WJER's own Kelly Kyle about her afternoon shift as an announcer here at the radio station. We also travel to Sugar Creek to talk with the budget editor, Beth Keller, about her daily duties and also how she's involved in the community as well. Stay tuned, that's all coming up next.
I was in elementary school when you decide, oh, I want to be a teacher when I grow up.
When I came in as a junior, my very first day, I was a very quiet, shy girl.
I wasn't sure where I wanted to be or what I was going to do. And I wanted to learn a trade that I could make maximum money and something that I was in control of my own destiny. When I saw the masonry program, I really fell in love with it. Something that was outside, hands-on. It was hard work. It really fit my style.
Instead of learning from a textbook, you get the opportunity to actually learn on the job, hands-on, which is great.
It's not just someone behind the desk, but it's someone that actually goes out and does the work. They actually turn the wrenches, or they actually go out and they work in construction. And it opens the doors up for the student to allow them some real-world experiences they might not have if they didn't take that class.
What was great with our class is that, there were 18 of us. We all had different backgrounds, came from different environments.
We were a team. We all worked independently. However, we worked with each other.
And we all just kind of were encouragement to each other and gave each other ideas and became a family in our lab.
It really helped me to open up as a person and really gave me the confidence I needed to be successful in my career today.
I was an athlete at the homeschool. We were still involved with our homeschool activities, our pep rallies, and all the activities that take place at the homeschool. We were not shut out or alienated.
You have the opportunity, here at Buckeye, you get involved with a club, you learn some leadership skills, and really share that leadership out in the community.
And you never know in which way you're going to use it and how it'll open up doors for you.
A lot of people were saying, oh, if you go to Buckeye, you can't go to college. Well, I'm sitting here in front of you working on my master's degree. So that's not true.
Use the skills you're learning as your work ethic. There's absolutely no limits.
I'm here every day to review patient care and progress notes and also discuss with the therapist, even after hours, what our goals are for the following day.
Our patients are able to stay within the community, be close to their family and friends, which is a big part of the rehab process.
What you get to see then is the actual progress taking place in a smaller time frame, so it's very visible and very real. It's not just something in the future, you're actually seeing it while it's happening.
Union Hospital, quality care close to home.
Brilliantly practical scientist Harriet Tuttle's search for a more efficient life concluded with an unorthodox solution. Harriet created 4 more Harriets. Together they were a model of efficiency. However, while identical, they had their own interests and their own retirement plans, each customized with a Raymond James financial advisor, allowing them to enjoy life separately and together. Life well planned. See what a Raymond James advisor can do for you.
Welcome back to TV2 Profiles. I'm your host, Cheyenne Carroll. Well, now we are in my second home here, and I'm with Kelly Kyle here at WJER Radio on the Boulevard. And Kelly is our afternoon DJ announcer. You have so many different titles. So, Kelly, welcome to our program today.
Well, thank you for having me, Cheyenne, a coworker, but I'm proud to say I work sort of with you and for you. Being in news and on the air, being on the air in the afternoon encompasses so many different things, and yes, many different hats. But I'm excited to be a part of this and letting everyone know it is a buffet of information, from very sad news stories to keeping it light and casual on the air. It's a challenge every day to come in to find out what is our world about today. which teams are hot? Is school closed? What's the forecast? What's the next festival? It's a lot always running in my mind to keep the Valley, even though we're on the World Wide Web now, my focus really still is the Tuscarawas Valley and what is happening and what is going to happen.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your history here at the station. First of all, you started right out of high school, or were you even out of high school when you first stepped into these doors here at WJER?
I do remember still being a senior in high school part-time. There was an audition, maybe 40 or 60 people coming to audition. We had to do a cold read with a script. I believe my script was for the House of Stones, talking about Oneida merchandise. You had kind of a one take, and not that they weren't expecting any fumbles or mistakes, but it was quickly, we've got to get someone hired here. And I was able to do weekend hours, closing out the station, signing off at midnight when we used to not be 24 hours, being ready to fill in for summertime shifts from midday to evening. So really it was a lot of learning in progress when I first started that first year and beyond. It still continues to be every day.
How many years has it been?
Oh, I'll stop at 30 plus.
30 plus. Okay. But then you also went on to college and majored in psychology, but here you are back at the radio station. Why?
Yes, well, back to the Tuscarawas Valley. I did work at WKDD back in the 80s, had my taste of major market and Akron Canton commercial work. They call it agency work behind the scenes, where it's a separate fee, a separate commercial. So that was a little bit of extra work here and there, off and on. But back to WJER, the Tuscarawas Valley keeps changing and evolving, and that keeps my interest up. I don't think I have the desire to be in a big city right now. That could change, but we are. Columbus, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, we're close to major cities, but this community is a really nice place, but it's growing. I don't sense the complacency. I believe with places like the Tuscarawas County Center for the Arts, Janine Kennedy, the Performing Arts Center. We wish good luck to Mike Morelli now that he is on his way to other things. The schools, the churches, from family, fresh outdoor fun to indoor activities that just keep on. There's something at your local library. It keeps on feeding you intellectually, physically. Nice place to get out, ride your bicycle, jog. Very outdoor active folks from our YMCA to other local workout places. Restaurants keep on evolving and changing and becoming healthier. And I love our Tuscarawas Valley Family Farm Market at the fairgrounds in Dover. You know, for the past 4 or 5 years, that has grown, changed, evolved as everyone does become aware of good health, good nutrition, and a really good way to live your life as cleanly and positively as you can, but you still have that big city, Cleveland or Akron, Pittsburgh, Columbus, if you want to grab some big city fun too.
When you talk about things evolving, I picture this radio station. I mean, some of our studios, you know, they're stuck back in time, but we also have these brand new computers and all of this new technology. And you've really experienced a gambit of it, you know, between CDs and you go back clear to cards and tapes and all of these different things. And I'm kind of like, well, what's that? You know, but you've seen it all.
And how about going back even further, Cheyenne, to 45s
Right.
and albums and vinyl that could warp and melt if you kept it too hot. And you had to be careful if you walked into the AM studio. If there would be a 45 running, you can't hop or jump or dance because it would bump the...
And now that's what computers do, right? Every time you turn around, something's wrong, but you've really seen it all.
And now I wonder what's next, because technology, the exponential growth is just amazing to me with nanotechnology, and the sound is as good or better as what we thought good sound was 30 years ago. So between the technology here at the station, between the writers, the commercial creativity, the sales staff that goes out to bring a new client on board, to our news department, award winners you are, Jamie, Cheyenne, and Jen, and Ryan now part-time. It's a real recipe for a certain kind of broadcasting formula that is really interesting every day. And, let it go as far as you want to go within certain parameters that I try to keep in mind when I walk into the studio. I really have a heavy responsibility on my heart to make sure that what I think is going out of the microphone to our listeners' ears is quality. It's not, I compare it to junk food versus nutritious food. There's junk food media and there's nutritious media. When we listen to the news stories, I'm listening right along for the first time as our listeners are, and I know I'm getting information right now. I don't have to wait 24 hours to get it. And also with some of the other information we have on the air, it's a real challenge to try to stay with quality and integrity, and that's my challenge every day. So here at WJER in the Tuscarawas Valley, I'm not done with that challenge yet.
And tell me a little bit, Kelly. I know a lot of, announcers at various stations kind of have a platform that they like to promote a little bit more on the air, and you are always talking about healthcare and diabetes. Tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely, Cheyenne. That's really my other full-time job. I've been a type 1 diabetic for a little more than 40 years now. I was 10 when I was diagnosed, and it's a constant challenge to feel good, which of course I want to do. It is an hour-by-hour self-checking. When did I take a blood sugar? When did I eat? When am I going to eat? When am I going to take a blood sugar? Did I walk today? Did I move? Am I going to? You kind of always have to have that past 6 to 8 hours in your life and the forward next 6 to 8 hours. What did I do? What am I going to do in order to feel good and control the diabetes? And it's being managed better now than 40 years ago, but we still have a long way to go. Research is incredibly exciting with new artificial pancreas talk, smart insulin, encapsulation. The Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation is really my hobby. My kitchen table is full of research information that I haven't had a chance to read over yet, but in order to share with newly diagnosed people, it's happening at any age, any span of life can have a diagnosis of type 1 diabetes where you are insulin dependent for your life. I want to make sure they know about the research, to work hard, to take good care of yourself. It's worth it if you want to feel good. So diabetes research is my passion, my hobby, and the other full-time job.
Now, do you have people, being a radio personality, do you have people that come up to you and ask you questions about it, want some more information because you are Kelly Kyle on the radio?
Sometimes, and I try to remember to use that. Never want to be unapproachable about that because it's a very real issue. Some really rough days. I want to be honest. The days that you just have to maybe sit down and cry every 6 months. It's frustrating. It's hard work, male or female. And I actually enjoy sharing information now because, selfishly, you probably learned something yourself in sharing the information about your own life. You might learn another tip about what someone did if they had a cold and the blood sugar went through the roof. Or, hey, how about that new doctor? There's always a word of mouth between someone who shares your issues. It's always a win-win situation.
All right. Well, again, this is Kelly Kyle here at WJER, and she is our afternoon announcer from 2 to 7 p.m. if you want to tune in and listen to her show. So, Kelly, thanks again for being on the show today. And for TV2 Profiles, I'm Cheyenne Carroll.
Omni Orthopedics comprehensive programs provide early diagnosis and successful treatment for every musculoskeletal problem. With more than 30 years of orthopedic experience, their physicians offer patient-centered treatment for all ages. From evaluation to rehabilitation, your treatment plan is designed around your needs. Omni Orthopedics specializes in sports medicine, the spine, physical medicine and rehabilitation, foot and ankle, and hand surgery. If pain makes activities like climbing stairs, standing or walking a challenge, turn to the home team at Omni Orthopedics. Their mission is to provide you with the highest quality and most advanced orthopedic services so you can get back in the game. Located in the Oxford Medical Arts Building, Omni offers a full-service facility including digital x-ray and physical therapy. So there's no need to travel when quality care is so close to home. Omni Orthopedics, setting the standard in orthopedic care.
I'm John Maselli, and I would like to welcome you to the Sunnyside Store restaurant. Since 1999, we have served over 500,000 meals. We specialize in steak, pasta, and the patron special, ribs. The Sunnyside Store is located at 5495 North Worcester Avenue in Parral. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, we open at 9 a.m. for breakfast. For more information or to schedule an event in the banquet room for groups of 40 or smaller, call 330-364-5474. This is John Maselli inviting you to the Sunnyside Store Restaurant.
WJER and TV2 would like to introduce you to a new website, WJERTV2.com, where you can watch exciting high school football, soccer, and volleyball replays from TV2 Sports on your home computer, smartphone, or tablet. Also watch the latest episodes of TV2's original programming, Sports Talk, The Garden Girl, The Not So Shy Chef, Off the Record, and Medical Minutes, as well as catch up on local community news and search for local businesses. So make sure to check out the new WJERTV2.com community website where everything's local.
Welcome to TV2 Profiles. I'm your host, Cheyenne Carroll. Well, today I have Bev Keller, and Bev is the editor of The Budget. So we are in Sugar Creek at the Budget location, and behind us we have a bunch of history, so we'll get to that in a minute. But welcome today, Bev, to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and how you kind of got into the newspaper business.
I can go all the way back to when I was 12. I actually started here at The Budget when I was 12. No, I haven't worked here that whole time, but I love what I do. I've always had a nose for news in terms of thinking that people should know what's going on around them. So I make it part of my job to make sure people around me are as informed as possible. So yeah, I started when I was a student at Garraway and wrote the high school news and did that through my high school career. Went away, started a family, came back. And when my son started kindergarten, I'm like, what am I going to do with myself? And I actually started working as a Times reporter in New Philly. And the publisher here, Keith Rathbun, he approached me and he's like, you're a hometown girl. Why aren't you working for the hometown paper? And so I've been here at The Budget 10 years this time. And I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
No, you're so busy. I mean, when you look at The Budget, you know, just one edition, it comes out weekly. Your name is all over that paper. Not only are you the editor, but you also write so many stories.
I do write the stories. I also do the layout. I'm blessed because I get to do what I love. So in that term, I actually don't work a day in my life. I get to do what I love. I talk to people. I listen to people. I get to take great pictures. There's really nothing about this job that isn't good for me. There are days that it's crazy. There are days that there are so many events. I walk in the door at night and I'm like, oh my gosh. Tired. But the rewards, you know, getting to tell the story of someone who's doing something in the community, getting to share information about a fundraiser, or that someone has found a cure for their disease or is getting the treatment they need. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah. And you had said that sometimes you even drag your kids with you because, you know, I've seen you at council meetings in the evening, but I'm guessing you've put in 8 hours already before you come to those meetings in the evening. So bring the kids along, right?
Absolutely. Honestly, I have one son, Jason, as a freshman at Garraway, and I also bring my husband. It's kind of our thing. Most people know if I'm volunteering somewhere, I'm bringing them with me. You know, my son has learned early on. I'm part of the Sugar Creek Business Association, and he has come to those meetings with me forever. You know, during the summer, that's like a highlight for him. And even when he was this big, you know, because I've been involved with the SBA now 12 years, he's been with me the whole time. It's allowed him to create relationships with adults, which I think is really good for youth. So he's a freshman, but I tease him he's a freshman going on 40 because he's a lot more mature than most kids his age. Yeah. And my husband doesn't mind. You know, if it's the 50 Sling, it's the Houseless Festival, a lot of the things we do together.
Well, and that was kind of my next question, because I know in the news business, you're never finished. There's always something happening, something breaking that, you know, you're at home and you get the computer out and you just go to work. And that's difficult sometimes on a family. Have you guys been able to overcome that? And it sounds like, you know, your family kind of enjoys what you do.
They do, I think, for the most part, enjoy what I do. I get to take them to the fun things and the not so fun things. I can tell you that a tornado went through Sugar Creek 5 years ago. We were actually out. It was a Saturday, and I didn't have anything planned that day. And we were in Canton enjoying ourselves, and my phone goes off, and it's talking about a tornado that is headed for Sugar Creek, and I hear that it touched down near Skyline, and my husband and son were great. We finished dinner quickly, and they were with me the rest of the day. So to see the things that you would normally not see. So they see a lot of behind the scenes type of stuff, and I think that kind of helps out when mom's got to rush out because there's a fire. But a lot of times if my husband's home, he's my driver, which is great, because then I'm not doing 3 things at once.
Exactly. They really understand what that's like for you. Now, in the community, you know, we talk about you going to so many different events and covering everything, but you're so involved and you've been commended with different awards and things like that. I know you were nominated as Woman of the Year last year, right?
That's correct.
And you also have something coming up here soon with the Sugar Creek Business Association?
Right. I'm receiving the Ranson Andrews Award this year, which is phenomenal. Ranson Andrews was someone who was noted as leaving Sugar Creek better than when he found it. And if you look at the impact he's had from the Alpine Hills Museum to obviously the longstanding business here in town, his fingers touch so many things. And while I never be a councilwoman or that type of thing, I really think that the impact that I can give is promoting our community in everything that I do. So that's working as the secretary for the Ohio Swiss Festival. That's the executive vice president of the SBA. I actually help out in Baltic. I'm the secretary of their business association. I'm the secretary for our local Lions. Do you see a pattern here with secretary? The secretary thing is I take good notes. Right. I pride myself on my notes. And if there's something that I can offer a group, it's that. Organization and notes, those are my things.
Right. And as a reporter, that's what you have to do.
Exactly. and so it falls into what I do, and it's what I love to do. So it really is a win-win.
So let's switch gears here. Tell me a little bit about the budget. As I said, we're standing in the room here with all kinds of history behind us, and you're celebrating 125 years in 2015. What is that like for you to be here? You said for 10 years this time around, you've been a significant part of that. Tell me about that a little bit.
I can remember starting here. I can remember reading the paper and learning about the rich history of the budget. And when I explain it to people, I often call it the Amish Facebook. In terms of the national edition, they all write their letters in, and we've got a department that reads the letters, makes sure they're fit to print. We have another group of girls, and what they do is type up those letters, and then people subscribe to read all those. So if you think about it, those are all like little individual Facebook posts. So when I go into the high school and I talk about the budget and what we are, the kids get it. You know, I think we're like the original social media.
Yeah. Well, and talking about, you know, just the changes from, you know, the paper to Facebook, do you ever see the budget going away? It's a once weekly, you know, paper. Do you think there's always going to be a medium here in Sugar Creek for the budget?
I absolutely do, because I think I mean, I'm guilty of it. I will read it on Facebook and I might forget about it. But I know that if I read it in my newspaper, I could clip it out. I can hang it on the refrigerator. You can't hang your laptop on the refrigerator as many times as I tried. There's no magnet strong enough. And, you know, I can cut myself out and I can set a reminder, but it's not the same as clipping it out and putting it up on the fridge.
Right. And what about the staff here at the budget? I know you have some people that help you out, right?
I do. We have great staff here. I've got a few part-time writers, and I've got some great columnists. We have Jessica Hartzler-Stock, who writes an incredible column about being a mom. And you wouldn't think something so simple would be something so good to read, but it really is. We have Ed Schrock, who's on my back page. He is a retired truck driver, and the things that he's gotten himself into over the years and the adventures he's had, it's a great read. Yeah. And then I actually have one of my best friends since high school who writes for me on a very part-time basis. She digs through our archives, and we have a thing on the back called From Our Files. And so it's like this week, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 60 years ago, and now this year we can add 125 years ago. So pulling out the first issues of the paper and reading, John J. Smith bought a pig. And that was big news. He bought a pig and he walked it through town, and that was the big story of the week. It really puts things into perspective.
But I'm sure people really enjoy reading those things from the past, right?
They do. And every once in a while we'll like slip in a picture of like, you know, a team from the 70s, and we'll post it to Facebook because we have a Facebook page. We do have Twitter for our sports, which I have a great sports guy, Jeff Williams. He's amazing. But really, it's a team effort here. And I have to say, work is a family. You know, as much as I'm family at home, I also have a family here.
Well, I think that's a good note to end on. We're talking today with Bev Keller, and she's the editor of The Budget, but she does so many other things. So thanks again, Bev, for having us here. And for TV2 Profiles, I'm Cheyenne Carroll.